All right. Thank you, everybody. So welcome. I'm the plant-based Kitchenista. So welcome to our classes. So tonight's going to be street tacos. So we're doing 3 different street tacos, which are fun. And they're, one of the things that I always like about tacos is they're fast and you can get things ready. You can also get things, pre-prepped and prepared. And then it's all about the toppings. I mean, it's not, I always look at it as not so much what's on the interior of it, but like all the fun toppings you can put on it, like mango salsas, or we're going to do a corn salsa and all those kind of things. So it's going to be fun. So we're doing a blackened tofu street taco. We are doing a cauliflower street taco. And then we're doing a chipotle barbecue mushroom street taco. So 3 different ones, but of course there's probably another million of them out there. And this is one of those things too, that you could say, you know what? I feel like the blackened tofu should have the chipotle barbecued marinated mushrooms in it and all that, and just kind of mix it all up together. And you just have this great smorgasbord of food. So that's what we're going to do today. So we got a lot of stuff to get in the oven. I'll get Jerry to introduce himself really quick. So but like I said, we are plant-based and we are no oil. So we always do vegetable broth or vegetable stock, water, or white wine. And white wine's only in like tomato sauces, and usually not sauteing with it, but usually adding it as some flavor. But other than that, we are going to get started and get showing you guys some fun street tacos.
Tacos. Yes. We love street tacos.
You like anything.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody. For those who don't know me, I'm Jerry Casados. I'm a plant-based nutritionist and a certified instructor for Dr. John McDougall's Start Solution program. And we've been plant-based now 17 years.
Yeah.
Long time.
Started when I was 2.
Yeah. We were much younger. But anyway, yeah. So I did it for health reasons of my own. 17 years of heart disease, developing blood pressure meds, cholesterol meds, all this stuff when you go over 50, seems like. But anyway, it was not good. I got diagnosis of plaque buildup in the arteries, and the doctors wanted to do an angiogram, but I refused simply because I had some information, education. Dr. John McDougall found in Santa Rosa, California, and he helped me. I went through his 10-day living program, got off all my meds. No surgeries, no nothing. All better. I went back to school and got my certifications and all that. So be a plant-based nutritionist. So here I am to help. Any questions about nutrition, feel free to ask. Our contact information is on the chat window. If you have any questions, we'd be glad to answer. I do free consultations for 30 minutes. If people want to adjust your diet, maybe not doing that right or something, let me know. I'll be glad to help. Go to my website. There's a lot of information there to help. So with that, I'll just turn it over to Chef and we'll start eating.
So he can eat. So he can start eating. You heard that. That's Jerry. All right. So the first one we're going to start, because we need to get we need to get the tofu in there, the blackened tofu, and then we need to get the cauliflower in there. Let me grab a bowl for the cauliflower. Get those 2 in. And think about this too, that when you make these kind of things, you can always prep it the day before. So make it as easy as you want on yourself. So tofu, firm tofu, extra firm. I always just do extra firm. I always do extra firm silken tofu. I just like it because it holds up really well, and it's the moisture content and stuff is not as much either, which is really nice. But it really gives you that nice kind of chewy flavor. So we need to cut the tofu into 1/4-inch thick slices and then individual 1/4-inch thick slices. So kind of estimate what it looks like for 1/4-inch. And if you don't want to do slices, then this is probably gonna be a little bit. If you don't want to do slices, then always think about it that you can just do, cubes, whatever you want. It's all up to you. Whatever's your favorite. So I'll just do 3 across. Looks like I have an end of the tofu that's falling off a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so let me get the baking sheet. Over here. So the actual, there's all kinds of different kinds, but the ones that I ordered off Amazon, Cajun's Choice, blackened seasoning, because there's a lot of them stuff that have ingredients in them that you don't want. So if you're definitely trying to be, clean, and this one's a low sodium, which is really nice. So the sodium is low, a lot lower and stuff, but it didn't have any kind of weird ingredients and stuff that you didn't want. So Cajun's Choice is a good one. And then there's quite a few other ones. There was a couple other ones that I looked at and I was like, ooh, they don't have some good ingredients in them. So just make sure you get that. So I'm just going to put the slices. Spread them out a little bit. And this is one that for the tofu, I would do probably 2 of the tubs of the tofu. And the reason why is because then I was like, okay, well, once I'm done with tacos, then there's just little pieces that were on that one edge that looked like it was cut weird or got in the box weird. But I would actually do a couple of these and then have it for like salads and, wraps and all kinds of things. Jerry and I are doing a lot of wraps. And so that's always the fun thing that you can always add tofu into. All right, so it's on there. Then what I'll do is once it starts getting cooking and starts to brown a little bit, then I'll just turn it over and just add a little bit more. But there we go. In the oven. So 350, and it's usually anywhere between, so probably depending on your oven, this is a gas oven, 15-20 minutes to where it gets to where it's a nice, kind of a little bit of a brown on the edges. And then when you actually kind of poke it a little bit is how I always test tofu. It doesn't have a lot of give, which is really nice because then that gives you that, when you bite into it, it makes it more chewy, which is really fun. Okay, so that's pretty much all you need to do. You can actually, if you want to too, you can drizzle your tofu and stuff with a little bit of vegetable broth and then add your blackened seasoning. If you don't have a lot of blackened seasoning, like this big jar thing that I have here, you can do that also. But this time and stuff, I decided not to go ahead and do that. All right, cauliflower. So get the cauliflower going. So I have to pull over here. White. Cauliflower. So a head of cauliflower, you could do, the purple, the green, the white cauliflower, just the white cauliflower, cut into like bite-sized pieces. So one of the things that, you can either chop it into bite-sized pieces or you can just break it up with hand. By hand, I just did them by hand. So they're just little pieces there. I like cauliflower. Cauliflower, like cauliflower wings and, all kinds of different wraps and stuff is just really good. Cauliflower rice, especially if you're doing wraps and you do like a cauliflower rice and you put some soy sauce or amino type of things like that. It's really good. It's really good in wraps. All right, so then we're going to go. So we're just going to do vegetable broth on the cauliflower because we're going to make a sauce and then we're going to add that at the end. So super simple on this one to get it ready. This is also where you could add your salt and pepper. You'll see that I don't cook with salt, so I definitely follow like the Chef AJ plan. So we did it for food addictions. It's also, Jerry doesn't like the taste of salt. So if I want it like on the table, and I want a little bit of salt and stuff, I just put it on the table, but I don't cook with any of it. And a lot of times and stuff, by the time you get through and you put all the sauces on it, because we're going to do adobo type of sauce and all that, sometimes you don't even need it. So it's really nice. Now the baking sheet. Cauliflower goes down. Would be really pretty too if you're going to do this for a party, is to do the 3 different colors of cauliflower and then bake them up that way. But you do have kind of it's a red sauce on it. So some of the purple cauliflower and that kind of stuff was going to peek through a little bit, but not as much, but still fun. All right. That's going in. So that'll be ready. I can smell the blackened seasoning already in the oven. It smells really good. All right, so we've got quite a few different things to do. So let's make the charred corn salsa. So let's do that really quick. We've got lots of different things going on. And you'll notice over here, I have red cabbage, which is going to be one of our toppings. And I also have red leaf lettuce. And then we've got, of course, microgreen sprouts. We have pico de gallo. We have avocado. We have, you name it, we got it. Got all kinds of different things. All right, so the charred corn salsa. So what I did is I took 4 corn on the cob and then I just put them in the broiler, or if you have a cooker outside and stuff, you can do that. And so you'll notice that, sorry, you notice they have a little bit of char on them. So you can get as much char as you want or as little char as you want. Then you just cut it off the corn on the cob. If you can't find corn on the cob, or it just maybe doesn't look good in the store, always what you could do too is just buy the frozen corn and do the same thing. So just put frozen corn, put a little bit of vegetable broth, put it under the broiler or even in a pan and stuff, and then just saute it up and get it to where you have a little bit of char on it. So that's an easy way to do it without having to worry about corn on the cob. Oh yeah, Whole Foods. That's the other thing too. Jerry was just mentioning Whole Foods sells the frozen ones, so you could buy the frozen ones. If you have a air fryer, you could actually throw them in there really quickly. And I didn't even think about that today. That I could have, instead of doing it in the broiler on the oven, I could have thrown it in the air fryer and I could have had it done and not had to worry about watching it as much. So that would have been a good point to do too. All right, so let me just grab some of the ingredients. So for that, we've got a half a red onion, so small diced. If you don't like red onion, just change out and use this different one. You could use scallions. You could use all kinds of different things, shallots. Because sometimes your red onion, I don't know if you guys are noticing this too, the red onion is really pungent. I mean, when you bite into it, it almost makes your eyes water. This one was not as bad. I tend to find that if you get the smaller red onions, they're not as bad as the big ones. The big ones seem to be really like eye burning and just almost making you cough. So it's kind of a quick little hint. Got a jalapeno. So I took out the seeds and I small diced it. So that's ready to go. If you don't like jalapeno, you could always put poblano because it has very little heat. And if you don't like any heat at all, just leave it out. You could just leave it at that. We got a small bunch of cilantro. So I'm not a fan of cilantro. I get the gene. Jerry has the gene. So we'll add some water. We'll add a little bit of the leaves in there, but not much. But when you're home making your own and you love cilantro, feel free to add as much as you'd like. All right, then we got a large lime. We're going to juice it. You could also, this is a very, very simple corn salsa. You could also add it if you wanted to. You could add some of the pico into it, or you could just add some pico on top of the taco or on the side. Jerry will have, I guarantee you will have pico on everything. You could also add some red, so you could add some pimentos. You could add some roasted red pepper. There's, this is a corn salsa is the base if you think about it, and then you could add all your different flavors and everything else that you want to it. But this is also really good. Like if you're making let's say a couple days later, because it does last in the fridge a lot. And so if you, put it onto a salad and made a homemade, like a ranch dressing on that with the corn and everything else, it'd be great. Or just a bunch of roasted vegetables with this on top. All right, so that's ready to go. You've got your fresh corn that's been charred. We've got the red onion. You've got the jalapeno. Just a little bit of cilantro, but you could put as much cilantro as you want. And then we got the lime that's juiced in there. You could add your sea salt to taste. And I just put a little bit of, as I just put that over, a little bit of black pepper and stuff if you wanted to. And then you could also add any other flavors that you would want. So that's all ready to go. I'm going to set that off to the side. And let's find some room. I'll put it over here for now. Yeah, I'll just put it over here. All right, so that's done. We have the crema, so the avocado crema that we need to be able to make next. So we're going to do that in the food processor. So let me bring that up here. A bit more room. My very old food processor, but you know what? Keeps on ticking and it still does a great job. So I haven't replaced it yet, but one of these days definitely needs to be replaced. Been dropped a couple times in cooking classes, so it needs a little help. Okay. Here is our ingredients. Avocado. The first ingredient. Got a big seed on the inside of it. Okay, so I'm just gonna So I'm going to place all the ingredients and I'm just going to squeeze it instead of getting a spoon and getting a spoon dirty. Just going to squeeze it out like that. And all the avocado. Seeds ready just to come out anyway. Hands. All right, so we have the avocado in there. So medium avocado. We've got 1/3 cup of silken tofu. So let me show you the tofu if you're new to tofu. Shelf-safe silken tofu. If you've not seen it, get it at pretty much all the Whole Food stores and everything else, Sprouts, Whole Foods, pretty much everything, and natural grocers, all that. It's Morinu, Morinu, and it's extra firm silken tofu. They have like probably 4 or 5 different types of the silken tofu. I think they're like $1.99 to $2.99, depending on which store that you go to. But they're shelf safe, so you can just put them on your shelf in your pantry and not worry about keeping them in the fridge. And then you just open them up. There's a little bit of liquid in there that you just drain off, but it's ready to go. So if you need to make your plant-based mayos or your cremas and stuff, this is the way to go. If you don't have any Whole Food stores next to you, they also sell them on Amazon. So you can get them that way too. All right, so 1/3 cup. So the other, that was only part of, think about, that's more than 1/3 of a cup. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use the silken tofu to make a couple other things, probably like maybe some ricotta this weekend and a couple other things with that. Check and make sure that it's good. So I have plenty of use for that, or I could make like a sweetened sauce that's like a sweetened tofu and stuff that you can dip apples in, which is really good. So many different things, parfaits, all that. So I'll be using that up this weekend. All right, then we've got 2 tablespoons lime juice. Lots of limes, lots of cilantro, lots of things like that because of street tacos, of course. Then we have a tablespoon of water. If we need a little bit more, that's going to help us keep it creamy because that's what you want to be able to drizzle it on the tacos, not plop, I guess, kind of like guacamole. Then I've got a garlic clove that's been minced. All right, and then a little bit of cilantro. You can also buy dried cilantro, so you could just keep it in your spice area. So you can do that too if you don't want to buy all the fresh cilantro. And then a little bit of sea salt and black pepper. So I'm not going to do the sea salt. I'll just do the black pepper. And I did my top. And you can do a blender or a food processor, but since I'm using my blender for the cauliflower, I figured I'd kind of switch it up a little bit, use the food processor for the other thing. That way I'm not worried about cleaning everything out. Okay, it's definitely thick right now. So you could leave it thick if you want some more like guacamole. I want it a little bit thinner, so I'm going to add a little bit more water to it. I want to be able to drizzle it. A noisy little dog is peeking down here. A little bit more, so I'll show you what it looks like now. So it is a lot creamier. Just a little bit more. That should do it. Not sure just why I decided to spit everything up, but that's okay. All right. I'll just put it in a bowl, and then that way we can drizzle it on top of the tacos, but we can also use it for anything else that we would like. Taste wise, let's taste it. Smells really good. Smells really fresh. It's good. It tastes like heightened avocado with like a little bit of with like the lime and a little. I can taste a little bit of cilantro, which like I said, I think I have the gene for cilantro, and so does Jerry. But good. It'll be very, very good on the tacos. Made a mess. All right. That off the side. Getting kind of all of our side ingredients ready. So very pretty color green, very nice, like a nice light color, kind of like a smoke light green. It's really pretty. There you go. Like I said, make it as thick. So if you wanted it like thick and left like chunks of avocado in it, could be really fun too. So that's ready to go. I'll just set that off to the side because, street tacos are all about the fun stuff. It's all about the, putting the toppings on and all of the good side things. Check. And just do a quick little flip. So you'll notice that like when I'm touching, so I was talking about like kind of the touch point with tofu. So I'm touching it on the side, you can see where it still gives a little bit of a give. So depending on where you like tofu, I like it where it's a little bit more, probably more baked. And so that's why I'm flipping them. And then I'm going to add a little bit more of the blackened seasoning on the bottom. I'm just doing a quick flip over. The little small pieces are really good shape. That's a good blackened rub. Not too spicy, but just a little bit. Yep. Open it up, Kelly. Not going to add as much because I don't want to overpower, so just a little bit. Yeah. Put that off to the side. Back in the oven. Cauliflower is looking good. Still has a little ways to go. All right. So we've done the avocado crema. We are done with that recipe. We're going to pull it off to the side so it gives us a little bit more room. We need to get ready. So we've got the chard. We're going to need to get the mushrooms going, and then we're going to need to get the sauce for the cauliflower. So let's get the sauce for the cauliflower because that'll be a fun one to make. Grab that. All right. So the sauce has basically 1 onion diced. And we're going to cook this up into a pan because we want to make the sauce. We want to blend all the ingredients together. And then we're going to throw it in the blender to make it really creamy. But you don't have to do that too. So you could actually think about, because I love anything onions and garlics, and Jerry and I are big fans of it. Whenever we get salsas that have tons of onions in it and things, we're always dipping out the onions with the baked chips and all that. So you could leave it chunky if you wanted to too and not even use the blender. So then we got 2 garlic cloves. Get this started. Let's do medium. Garlic out, 2 garlic cloves minced. Then you've got 2 chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. So basically the jalapenos are in that adobo sauce. So they can be very spicy. They smell wonderful. They're smoked. So if you're not real crazy about, chipotle peppers and adobo sauce and stuff, you could actually do something. You could do like maybe a little bit of an enchilada sauce or something to keep it more on the mellow side if you want. But we like it spicy here in this house. So end's gonna go, but I'm gonna cut it up a little bit because they do come whole. Let's get the cloth out. That way we don't have some big pieces in it. What? Everything off the knife. Smells good. Smells like smoky kind of peppers. Smells really good. Okay, then we've got 1 teaspoon of chili powder, whatever's your favorite, and a half a teaspoon of cumin. I always just use Savory Spice. That's because they're in town and they actually have a warehouse here. They grind all their spices fresh. So I just go and you can see my cabinet full of all the spices in the spice pack. So I just keep redoing everything. We have lots of spices now. I always talk about that I grew up with, I think, like 5 spices in the entire house. Not much. We'll do a little bit of vegetable broth. You're going to put out moisture, but you can always start with a little bit of vegetable broth. Oh my gosh, that smells good. You got the chili powder and the adobo. Oh my goodness. Yum. Uh-huh.
Can you freeze the unused chipotle peppers?
Yes, you can. Yeah, so you can freeze the adobo. So because they come in little cans about this big. And then if you've got, so let's just say you only use like 2 of them out of there, just take the rest and put them, put a little label on your bag and stuff and put them in the freezer and then just bring them out that every time you need to use them. Very good question. But yes, you sure can. I actually have like 4 because of the rest of the can are frozen. So. All right, cumin, so a little bit of black pepper. And you could add either water or vegetable broth. Since I have the vegetable broth, it's half full. I'll just use it. All right, we're gonna get that cooking up. So once it's done, it's gonna be kind of a nice roasty, kind of a rust color. And then we're gonna put it in the blender, and that's what we're gonna put over our cauliflower. If it starts getting a little bit dry in your pan and stuff, just add some more vegetable broth or water. You're fine with that. All right, so then we've got another avocado. We have some more red cabbage. These are for building our tacos. All right, so we have all that ready to go. Check the cauliflower. Looking good. Smelling good in this house. We had a guy in working and he was just like, ooh, it's starting to smell really good in here. Because we were baking the tortillas and those things like that, which I'll show you here in just a second. All right, so get this going. If you don't like red cabbage, because red cabbage is real popular on street tacos, feel free to use like red leaf lettuce or just whatever lettuce, green leaf, romaine, whatever you've got, you can just do that. Or any type of greens. I mean, I've seen people put, collard greens, if that's some of your favorites, whatever you want. That's the fun part. You could do, if you're going to have like because I see a lot of group parties and things like that, you could do like this in like a street taco bar. So you could have, like your chipotle barbecued mushroom ones, which we're going to make here in a minute. You could have that, like the actual what am I trying to say? The middle part of the taco and stuff, the meat, like the meat considered meat part. You can have that all made up into different chafer dishes. And then you could have all these different side dishes, like a mango salsa, your pico, all your different, greens and all that. And then just have this huge party where people just make their own things, which sounds fun. And then of course, maybe some margaritas on the side. Maybe virgin margaritas, I don't know. Sangria, there's all kinds of stuff that you could put together. Just letting that cook enough to where we get everything ready for to put it in the blender. So we're gonna make sure the onions are al dente and almost translucent so that we can blend it up really well. Let's grab the barbecue. So the barbecue mushroom, if you've got the recipe in front of you, if you don't worry about it. I'll walk through it. But it's actually got mushrooms in it. So you could use like your cremini mushrooms. You could use, they didn't have the cremini in the stores and stuff. So we just did the baby bellas, which are always plentiful, or your white mushrooms and all that. So it depends on whatever you want to use. But you could use really fancy mushrooms. You could use not so fancy, and you could actually leave them a little bit more chunkier. So especially if you have like the cremini and a couple other mixtures in it, and then people can actually see the different types of looks of the mushrooms, which is really fun. But it's also going to have pinto beans in it. So it's it's one of those mixtures and stuff that's going to be very, very hearty. So when you put it into the taco shells, one of the things that you could do is you could actually do it like a soft taco shell. We're going to use corn tortillas so you could make it soft. And you could give them people a couple of them and stuff, because a lot of times when you roll up your street tacos, they tend to break through the bottoms. Or you could do like the taco shells. So here are taco shells. So I just did the same thing, corn tortillas, 350-degree oven. And then what I did is on the actual racks in the oven, you've got basically two racks and stuff, or two of the rack, what am I trying to say? What is this? The racks are what is it that I'm trying to call it what things those are? So it's like I guess the bars or whatever, Jerry's saying bars, but I know that's not the right word, but you get two of them. So you're laying your taco shell over it, your corn tortilla. And then what it does is it folds. So you can see that, there was two of them, like two of the rungs here, and then your taco shell went across that. So you have this great little taco shell, and it's all ready to go. No oil, all ready and good. And then if you've got, something that's fun too, you can get, you can buy, this is a plastic one, but you can buy the metal ones. And then you can also put those in the oven. So you can, you can kind of go put your taco shell this way and then have it fold over and stuff and be a little bit smaller. But we're going to do some soft ones in this one. So we'll put the 3 in here. We'll do the side 3 on here, and then we'll do the soft tacos for probably maybe the blackened tofu. And then we're going to do the hard tacos and stuff for the cauliflower and the barbecue mushrooms, because they're a little hardier. So I don't want the taco shells just to break. So, but we'll get those going. All right, let's do a little bit more vegetable broth, because vegetable broth always burns off quicker than when you used to cook with oil. Remember when oil and stuff, you would do sauteing onions, and you could basically put it in a pan, and you could walk away, do some laundry, walk around the block, all that, and come back, and it's still sauteing. Vegetable broth doesn't. It burns off really quick. So I always talk about that. If you're kind of doing multiple things like this, one of the things that you can do is do vegetable broth and then cut it. So if you do 2 tablespoons vegetable broth, you could always add 1 tablespoon vegetable broth and 1 in water. And then that way it keeps it simmering for a lot longer. So, because your vegetable broth will burn off really quick. All right, let's check. Well then, all right, looks like that blackened tofu is good. Maybe a couple minutes longer. So I was just touching them a little bit. I think I'm actually going to leave them, because they'll harden up a little bit more. But see where, I get that down. But see where here when I'm touching it, this one's a little bit more forgiving, but this one's not. So this one's perfectly ready. And then I got these little chunks here. Those are good. I'm gonna put this to the side. Put blackened sauce. Let's give a taste of this. That's good. Got some kick to it because the adobo. So if you don't want it to be like too much of a kick, one of the things that you could add a little bit, of maple syrup into it, or you could add agave or something like that. And it's got a lot of kick, so I'm going to add just a little bit of maple syrup to it, just so it doesn't burn Jerry and I out of the house. Just a little bit. You could add date paste, date syrup. All right. So my onions are translucent. Blender. Like I said, you could leave this as chunky and then just put the, it's got the onions and everything else in it that's more chunky like that. And you could actually, if you wanted to, you could just leave it like that and just put your cauliflower in there and then just let it simmer, which would be really nice. Or if you want it just like what I'm going to do it, I'm going to actually make it a smooth sauce. But you can cut out steps. That's what I do. It's like one day it might be like, well, I like it chunky, and the next day and stuff, I want it smooth. It's almost like soups. Same thing. You're kind of like, well, I want it like more of a creamy base or not a creamy base. So experiment up. It's always fun. Wonderful. Like I said, still has some kick, but it has a little bit of sweetness now because I put the maple syrup in there. But as you can see, just a really nice sauce. So this is what the cauliflower is going to go in. So I'm going to put this off to the side. Let me check my cauliflower. We'll need to do cauliflower in a bowl. More minutes. Get everything else ready. Lots of street taco stuff going on. All right. Chipotle barbecue mushrooms. So we're going to start out with, get this going here. A little bit of vegetable broth or water, doesn't matter. Then we've got 2 cloves of garlic, minced. Yum. 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. That's where you're going to start getting your barbecue flavors in there. One of the things on tomato paste, I used to always buy the little cans because they're inexpensive, but now I'm actually buying the tubes of the tomato paste because in that way I can just put the lid back on, put it back on the shelf and stuff, and use the tomato paste as I need it versus I was freezing it for a long time. Still good to freeze it, but I was running out of freezer space with like that's like spaghetti sauces and things like that. So now I just use the tube, which is really nice. All right, it's got 2 tablespoons tomato paste. You've got a teaspoon. I've got smoked paprika. Not coming all the way out. Love smoked paprika. Sweet Spanish. Yeah, sweet. So smoked Spanish sweet paprika by Savory Spice. Delicious. The best stuff ever. Love this stuff. And you can order Savory Spice online. Okay, let's do a little bit more vegetable broth. All right, then we've got 8 ounces of the cremini mushrooms. Let me just mix this up really quick before I add the mushrooms in, because otherwise then you're going to get tomato paste on quite a few of them. Nice, beautiful red sauce. Sweet, smoky, yum. Okay. All right, we got everything in there. So now we're going to add in the mushrooms. So just chopped up. These were, like I said, just Baby Bella. So that's what they had in the stores. So we chopped those up. You can also freeze mushrooms. So not good for, like if you're going to make like on a salad or something like that, but anytime like you're going to make burgers or make sure I got in the right bowl, burgers, anything else and stuff, you just let your mushrooms unthaw and then you can chop them all up. So it's nice to have them always on hand. I use them a lot for like burgers and things like that that are frozen. All right, it's got the cremini. We've got the 14.5 or 15 ounces of the pinto beans, and they've actually been rinsed and drained. Down, let's give it a good mix. Very hearty, you can tell, because you've got the pinto beans and you've got the mushrooms. You could do black beans. Jerry's a black bean fan. He eats a lot of black beans, so I always mix in the pinto beans every once in a while. Mix that up, make sure everything's good and covered. You could also, if you wanted to, you could also add in like onions and, you know, garlic and all kinds of other fun things in here. But you have the garlic, but more like onions, which I really like. All right, so then we've got all those in there. So now I'm going to add in a little bit more of the flavors. So we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. You could also go coconut aminos, any of those other ones and stuff that you like. Lots of smoky flavors, which is really nice. That smells good. Just do a quick stir. All right, and then we're going to have, then we've got a tablespoon of the maple syrup because we are going to add the adobo in there also. Get it out of there. You can do the same thing. Date paste, agave, maple syrup. You could do monk fruit. So many different things that you can use for sweetener now. Or you could say, you know what? I don't want any sweetener. And just leave it out. Okay. Then we've got, so I'm just following along, make sure I get everything in there. Got the apple cider vinegar at the end. I have 1 adobo in sauce. So same thing. A quick chop. I have seen the adobo where they're actually, oops, I lose a piece, diced, but harder to find in the store. So usually they're whole. Quick wipe, because what'll happen is I will lean over and I'll end up with adobo sauce all down the front of me. That's in there. Cauliflower's ready. We are making good time. All right, let's taste. So the vinegar goes in at the very end. So we've got, the last thing we're going to add is a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. So that's going to go in after we turn off the heat. Just add that last little bit of umami flavors. I'm not a big mushroom fan, so I'm going to grab where the beans are. Oh, that's really good. This on like a potato or like cold on a salad or something, really good. Nice flavor. Not your typical like really sweet barbecue sauces and stuff, but really, really good. All right, so let's turn this off. So make sure everything's heated through. It looks good. Then we're going to add the tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Voila. Get that out of the way. Cauliflower. Nice roasted cauliflower, yum. One of Jerry's favorites. All right, that's room. to make. So you can actually, I'm gonna let it cook just a little bit longer, get the sauce as thickened as I can while I'm making everything else. But it's ready to go. It's delicious. Okay. That way I don't have as much sauce and stuff that goes all over the taco. Okay, so we've got the blackened tofu street tacos. So let's make those first. I'm just gonna get everything all put together. We're gonna make those since a little bit heartier. We're gonna make those in the hardened shells. It's not hot anymore. So grab out as much or as little tofu as you want. I'm thinking 3, I think is good. What does Jerry think?
Yeah, that's good.
3 is good. If you make them with the soft tortillas, then I would say that you're probably looking more, probably maybe 1 or 2. Get this all over the place. Okay. Gosh, that smells good. Can you smell it?
Mm-hmm.
Smells really smoky. All right, so for this one, we've got the crema, but mix and match. It's completely up to you. We've got shredded cabbage. I'm also going to add a little bit of the red leaf lettuce too, because I think it's just, you've got the greens, you've got the purples. I think it's very pretty. And then we're going to do, so we got the lime crema, we got a little bit of cilantro, we've got lime wedges. Let's get those real quick. What do I do with my other knife? And I can just use them for all of it. I need more room. All right. Goodness. Okay, so we've got everything. So we're going to do the shredded cabbage. I think I'm going to do a little bit of the, mix it in there. Jerry's favorite, whenever I do shredded, any type of shredded red cabbage or green cabbage, he's usually in here. And usually 3/4 of my cabbage is gone. He's eyeballing it right now. I can feel it.
Good for the microbiome.
All right, so we've got the crema. So let's grab a spoon. If it gets really thick when it's like sitting here, just add a little bit of water. Oh my gosh, that smells good. The sprouts, because they're good for your gut. And then the other thing, just because we like pico, and it's beautiful because it's red. Right. 1 down. You got blackened tofu. So there's the blackened tofu street tacos. Don't those look delicious? Yum. Eat those right now, especially with the crunchy. Love that. All right, so let's put those down here at the front. Put that out of the way. We can follow the recipe.
What's the difference between pico and regular sauce?
So regular sauce and stuff are usually, so pico is usually, it's I'm trying to say roasted up, usually a lot of times and stuff, and it's very chunky. So when you get the regular sauce and stuff, they're not as chunky, but usually a lot of your ingredients too is it's not as much shelf space, so they don't put all the ingredients and stuff to keep it on the shelf for a long time. So when you get something that's pico and stuff, usually if you buy it from a store, it usually lasts maybe like 7 days and then it starts going bad. So it's just very fresh ingredients with it. And it has very few ingredients too. It's usually like tomatoes, jalapenos, cilantro, and a lot of the other salsas and stuff have many more different ingredients. So fun to use pico. We like pico. All right, so that looks, let's get this down. It is thickened. See the sauce is thickened up. Nice and thick. Look at the color of that. That's beautiful. Yum. Okay, so then we got the so we're gonna do the cauliflower. This is protecting the house. Okay, little pieces of cauliflower. The sauce we made earlier with the adobo. Make sure you stir it up really good. Gets all mixed in. There is a little bit of extra sauce left over, but that's okay. Out of the way. Going to heat up a few tortillas. Put those over here. That's our favorite tortilla. So these are tortillas Mexico home style. Pretty much the ingredients is ground corn flour, pretty much. A fun little taco. All right. I think I'll do the cauliflower on the soft tacos. That off to the side. For my other tacos. All right, so cauliflower. The cauliflower is going to go there. All right, beans. Hard to keep all the track of all the stuff. We get so many different parts and pieces. That's great.
Those non-GMO.
The what? Yes, they're non-GMO.
Yeah, we're buying them.
Okay, grab a spoonful. Really, really good. That would be good. Those would be good on anything. All right, so we got that in there. We got the fresh lettuce, the cabbage. She can sense, the little dog can sense it's getting close to dinner time. Cabbage. Oops. One. Okay, then we've got, make sure we've got anything else that we want to put on these. We've got the charred corn salsa. We cannot forget the charred. Look how much charred corn salsa, but I also did 4 corn on the cob, so. We like corn. You could also put slices of avocado. You could put some of the avocado crema on there. I'm going to do a little bit of the, I ran out of spoons. A bit of pico. If you don't want to go buy pico, use your favorite salsa. We have lots of favorite salsas that we love. And you could do a little bit of cilantro instead of the microgreens. All right, so next one. So this is the Chipotle barbecue mushroom street tacos. So those are all ready to go. Beautiful colors, beautiful food. All right, and then we've got, so the cauliflower. Let's get that off of there. Let's get one more in. And we are going to put them on a plate. Hold them. See that there? These little things, I bought them at the store. I'll just show you really quick. They're cute. These are not ones you can put in the oven, but they're plastic. So if you end up doing like a party or just like your tacos and stuff to be held, there was like 6 of these in there for like $6. So very inexpensive, all different colors, very cute for some type of a party. Okay. They're nice, especially when you're doing like the soft tacos, just like that. They're nice to be able to hold things up. All right. In goes the cauliflower with the sauce. Jerry has 9 tacos to eat. He'll probably eat 2 of each. And then he'll tell me which ones are his favorite. Not opinionated at all. It's okay though. All right, let's put that. Lines. Okay, so then you've got this going. So same thing, you're gonna put, I just like I said, I like the lettuce and I like the cabbage mixed together. But you could also do green cabbage and red cabbage. Very healthy. Put the other limes down here. Okay, we got cilantro, we don't need that. So then the other piece and stuff is just a little bit of avocado. So let me grab, I don't know what I did with my big knife. I think I buried it somewhere. So we're gonna use the small knife. Perfect. Board. Diced or sliced, doesn't matter. You could also say, you know what, I'm not going to cut up another avocado and then just use the avocado crema. Squish it. All right, so we got that on there. We got that on there. We got the colors. We need some pico. A little bit of greens, and we are ready. This one would be really pretty if you had mango salsa. Yum. It's like, what did I do? Microgreens. What did I do? Oh, thank you. Like, what did I do with them? Okay. This is a lot of stuff. Get out of the way. We're right on time. Okay. So we have blackened tofu tacos ready to go. They've got an avocado crema on them, which is a little bit different than the others. We actually have your chipotle mushroom and pinto bean barbecue that are in here. They've got the corn salsa that's on here and all the different flavorings and stuff. These, the bomb, love them. And then the last one that we have, and those are both hard taco shells. The last one we have in the soft taco shells is our cauliflower tacos, and they have, you know, the cauliflower, a little bit of adobe sauce. I put in some avocado, and then you get the salsa and everything else ready to go. But there is our street tacos, three different kinds, and still extra ingredients left over. So Jerry's going to be eating street tacos tonight and street tacos tomorrow, probably for lunch, more than likely. He'll be wanting to have shells and all that stuff ready to go. But I tell you, the bean, try it. Even if you don't use it in tacos, use it for other things. Really good. Really, really good. So there you go. There is our street taco festival. And that is our street tacos for tonight for dinner, which is actually going to be a lot of fun. And then I hope you guys try them. And I hope you guys send me ideas and stuff. If you changed them up a little bit and said, hey, I added something else, please do. Love that. Love to hear about it. So hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you in about 2 weeks. And Chef AJ show at the end of the month on the 28th. So we'll be doing that. That's before 4th of July. So we're going to do
June 20th.
yeah, June 28th, I think is the last. Is it June 20th? Oh, okay. So June 20th and stuff. So we're gonna make what am I trying to say? Meatball subs and a parfait and a couple other things. So perfect. All right, guys. Love you guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you in 2. Thank you. Bye.